the investment world has changed. You're now in control. It used to be that the corporations were in control. The big corporations who, General Motors, GE, Ford, now Amazon, Apple, Google, they used to be in control until about the 15th of March. For the last 3 weeks, you've been under quarantine. You've been in your house. Your habits have been broken. You don't go to Starbucks every morning anymore. You don't go to the grocery store on a regular basis. You don't get your hair cut. I certainly haven't gotten mine cut. So your habits have been broken. Literally, your thumb is on the reset button. Your thumb is there holding the reset button, and corporate America, the world, has an opportunity now to change your habits, to step in and say, I can serve you better. You can save me. The future of American Airlines, Marriott Hotels, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Boeing, the Hilton hotels, the restaurants down the street from you, the coffee shops, the beauty salons, the gyms, you now control their future. They used to control yours, but now it's all in your court. And who survives and who fails is your decision. And therefore, they need to change the way they're doing business. I saw something that kind of spurred this video yesterday. I saw it on the news. I watch Lester Holt every night. And this is the video I saw.
Good. Thank you. Have a good day.
How are you?
Good. I like your mask.
Yeah, I love yours.
Thanks. Yes, how are you? Good. Very good. How are the plexiglass shields working out? Pretty good? That's what we need. Good. Thank you.
It's Jeff Bezos walking through one of his distribution centers and kind of looking things over in his black jeans and his white shirt and his face mask. And then it shows him walking up to a Whole Foods store and walking in through and talking to the employees. The only thing he could have done better was gone while you and I were there shopping and interacted with us. I remember when I was 8 years old. My mother died when I was 8 years old in 1953. And my older brother and I went to Cincinnati, Ohio. We were living in Champaign, Illinois. We went to Cincinnati, Ohio, and lived for 3 to 4 months with my grandmother. My grandmother would go to the grocery store during the middle of the week, and she would buy her groceries, and she would have Butch and I in tow, and she'd go up to the cash register. The owner of the store would ring her up, and my grandmother didn't have any money. And he would take out a little notepad, and she had a page on that notepad, and he'd write down how much her groceries were. And then Grandma and my brother and I and a young man would walk home because my grandmother nor my brother and I could carry the groceries. So the young man walked home and brought the groceries into the kitchen table and left. On Friday, my grandfather would get paid, and he'd give Grandma some cash. You know, there was no such thing as credit cards or debit cards or whatever. And she and I and Butch would walk back to the grocery store on Saturday, not to buy more groceries, but just to pay the grocer. My grandmother and the grocer had a relationship. They had a trust. They had a bond. you shop at a grocery store or your spouse shops at a grocery store. Do you know the grocer, the manager's first name? Would you recognize them if you saw them? Probably not. That's got to change. Today, I watched the Today Show. I usually watch Squawk Box, but the market's closed today, so I watched the Today Show. And Savannah Guthrie interviewed the CEO of Walmart.
Before I let you go, as the CEO of Walmart, you certainly have a unique view on the pulse of America. Is there anything that people are buying a lot of right now that kind of surprised you?
You can definitely see that as people have stayed home, their focus has shifted. It started out with food and consumables, and then it moved to things like puzzles and games, things to entertain kids and educate children, as you would guess. Lately, we've seen more grooming products. People are starting to need a haircut, and so you start to see more beard trimmers and hair color and things like that. It's interesting to watch the dynamic play out.
Well, hair color right here. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon, thank you for being with us.
I said hooray. I don't recall his name, but he was reaching out and talking to his public. That's you and me. He was trying to reassure me and my wife, Nita, that they were doing everything they could to keep the supply chain open, to protect their employees, to make our life better. What he was really trying to do was steal us from Publix or the Piggly Wiggly or Target. And he was going about it the right way. He was relating to me on a one-to-one basis. Most of these CEOs believe that their future and the future of their business depends upon their relationship with their stockholders. No, it's their relationship with you and I. And I'm reaching out to Jeff Bezos, to Sergey Brin, to Larry Page, Google guys, to the CEO of YouTube, whoever she is, to Tim Cook, to whomever the CEO of Microsoft is. I use your product every day. I only wear Nike shoes, but I would not recognize the CEO of Nike if he showed up at my door. I wouldn't recognize any of them. But wait a second. Why aren't they on YouTube? Why aren't they talking to me? Why aren't they building a relationship with me? Because I control whether they succeed or not. The best example I could give you right now is I've probably been on 22 Royal Caribbean cruises. I have no idea who the CEO is. If he showed up at my front door and wanted to give me a free ticket on my next Royal Caribbean cruise, I wouldn't recognize him. If Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the people who I support every day through my YouTube videos, showed up on my front porch with their coats and ties on, I'd think they were evangelists or missionaries trying to get a donation or get me to change my religion. I wouldn't recognize them. And that's a shame. Because I support them, because you support them, because you now have their future in your hands, because your thumb is on the reset button. And they don't know it. They haven't figured it out. It all can change based upon where you decide to spend your $1,200 check when it arrives, if it ever arrives from the government. When you decide how to spend your unemployment check. When you decide if you're getting a government grant loan to keep your small business alive, decide how to spend your money. These people need to, Jeff Bezos, you need to understand that I'm your customer. I'm also a stockholder, and you need to be talking to me. You need to be spending at least 2 hours a week. Take 2 hours a week, not even really that much. You got the staff to sit in front of a camera like I am and talk to me and tell me what you're doing to make my life better. And build a relationship with me that when the next time this happens, I will not question. Gentlemen from Walmart, you need to be talking to my wife. She's afraid to go into your stores. She shops Target. You need to be talking to her and secure her trust that you will take care of her, that she won't get shot by the next terrorist who comes into your store. You need to talk to her because she's your customer and you lost her. She's now in Target, and she will only go to certain Targets. So, you, as my customer, as YouTube's customer, are in control starting today. Where you spend your money, and you need to demand that if someone wants your money and someone wants your support, they need to make you feel safe, they need to make you feel happy, and they need to talk to you. Setting up a YouTube channel is free. It's easy. But none of them give me the time of day. And so I would recognize Mark Zuckerberg if he showed up. And I want to commend you, Mark, on what you're doing for the entrepreneur, the program you've just started, and that's why I bought your stock this week. Because you're relating to me. You're not relating to your stockholders. You're reaching out and saying, how can I make your life better? Not how can I make more money off of you. I want to share one other thing with you. That yesterday I bought a pair of Nike shoes. These are my current Nike shoes. I wear orange shoes. Starting next week, I'm going to be wearing green shoes. On my YouTube channel this morning, I had a products you're interested in on my page. And it was full of shoes. It was full of shoes. I went to my Facebook page, and there wasn't an ad on it. And I think Mark has figured a new way to monetize his channel, and I appreciate it. All I found on my Facebook feed today was my friends, my family, and I liked that. Now, Mark, I also, earlier this week, commented on how much I enjoyed Ozark. Also on my internet, I'm getting all kinds of opportunities to see how the stars of Ozark are interacting and wanting to talk to me on video. Mark he took that information that I responded to someone's comments on Ozark, and he sold them. That's okay with me. That's okay with me. I like the way you're doing business now, Mark. You're not invading my privacy. You're not throwing ads up of things I'm not interested in. You're feeding me information on the people I love and care about, and I appreciate that. And that's what needs to happen, because I'm in control now. I control the money, and so you need to talk to me. Mark, get a YouTube channel and tell me what you're doing. Don't put your CFO, or I don't remember her name. She's a beautiful woman, and she came from Google. But I want to hear from you, because you're in control and I'm in control. So let's talk together. Okay, one other thing I want you to do for me. I read the Wall Street Journal every morning, and I read the headlines. I also have it online. Here's what I see. What I want to know from you is, what do those headlines have to say in order for the stock market to go down Monday morning? So go down into the comments and tell me, what do those headlines need to say for the stock market to react how I think it should react, but it's not reacting. I mean, what is it, 17 million unemployment? A projected
Americans
20%
have filed for unemployment in the last 3 weeks of data.
Just keeps
It's a
going up.
massive collapse of the U.S. labor force.
Help me out.
Almost 1 in 10 U.S. workers have sought unemployment benefits.
Eric Morath covers the labor market. He says that with these numbers continuing to surge, the unemployment system is not prepared. In many cases, states don't have enough staff